As one ages, after navigating numerous life stages, a chilling thought can emerge. What if all efforts were directed in the wrong direction? What if years were dedicated to the wrong goal, and the search for truth led to a dead end? Imagine this scenario. For decades, the idea of random existence, of human insignificance in the vast and indifferent universe, has been instilled in consciousness. But what if this is a carefully constructed lie? What if irrefutable proof of a higher intelligence has long existed, but is skillfully hidden from the public? Within the corridors of the scientific world, among renowned academics and distinguished physicists, ideas capable of overturning our understanding of reality are whispered, their discoveries inspiring not only admiration, but also genuine dread, hint that humanity is not merely a passive observer, but a managed entity. And the one behind this grand design lacks a specific form or visible shape, yet possesses all-encompassing knowledge of each of us. What secrets do these discoveries conceal, and what consequences might their revelation bring? For a long time, these concepts remained in obscurity, ignored by mainstream scientific thought. But now an era is dawning when the veil of secrecy is beginning to lift, revealing an even more intriguing truth that scientific circles have stubbornly overlooked. In this article, readers will discover sensational findings that individual scientists, despite pressure, sought to bring to public attention, but their voices were silenced. Yet, the most astonishing truth is still to come. Anatoly Akimov's forbidden theory is more than just a scientific hypothesis. Anatoly Akimov was a brilliant physicist, a tireless researcher, a man who once dared to look beyond established dogmas and saw horizons lying beyond orthodox science. At the beginning of his career, like many of his colleagues, he relied entirely on rationality, on strict calculations and experimental verification. However, upon reaching 55 years of age, after numerous experiments and deep reflections, he took a step that astonished his peers. He went to a temple and was baptized. When the clergyman, surprised by such a move from a renowned scientist, asked, "Do you believe in God?" Akimov uttered words filled with profound conviction. "I don't believe, I know." What revelations came to him that so transformed his perception and values? In his works, Akimov confidently asserted, "The existing world is not the result of blind chance. Everything humanity considers immutable, gravitational interaction, electromagnetic fields, nuclear forces, is organized with such phenomenal precision that the slightest error in these parameters would inevitably lead to the demise of all creation." According to his calculations, changing even one of the fundamental physical parameters by just 0.01% would result in catastrophe. This is not evolutionary development, but masterful design. This is deliberate creation. The scientific world met this theory with skepticism, suspicion, and even animosity. Akimov's correctness would imply the existence of a creator, possessing profound knowledge and operating according to a pre-designed plan. But this was merely the starting point for his groundbreaking discoveries. We will now explore how the structure of the universe bears witness to the existence of an architect whose existence many refuse to acknowledge. Akimov asserted, "The universe is not a chaotic jumble of objects. It is not merely a collection of stars and planets scattered randomly. It is a gigantic cosmic mechanism where every detail, from a microscopic particle to a massive galaxy, rotates in a clearly defined, mathematically precise sequence." Gravity, the speed of light, the mass of elementary particles, their electrical charges. Everything functions with accuracy up to the 30th decimal place. Such an incredible coincidence cannot be accidental. It rather resembles program code, a complex algorithm underlying reality itself. Scientists have found that the slightest change in the value of even one fundamental constant would prevent stars from igniting, planets from deviating from their orbits, water from existing in a liquid state, and life as we know it from originating. However, perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Akimov's research is his assertion that the astonishing precision of the universe is the result of directed influence. Some force or entity fixed the parameters of the universe, as if setting the controls of an intricate machine. This means that the cosmos around us did not merely arise, but is also under someone's control, and perhaps the one who set these parameters is capable of changing them. But even this thought pales before the next discovery, which could shatter the anthropocentric view of the world. When the microscope first opened its doors to the microcosm, scientists were full of confidence in their knowledge of living nature. However, the deeper they delved into the mysteries of the cell, the more questions arose. Why does each cell function as if by a pre-written program? All processes occur precisely according to a plan, without glitches or chaos. Who authored this script? Akimov raises a simple but unsettling question. If mutations occur randomly, and evolution is without purpose, how could such an incredibly complex creature as a human being have arisen? His calculations show that, considering the rate of mutations and the immense complexity of biochemical processes, the random emergence of humans would have required far more time than the universe has existed. Within each of us, in the tiniest cells, genetic blueprints are hidden, detailed instructions that allow cells to create organs, tissues, senses, and even consciousness. This complex process proceeds with flawless precision, as if a profound meaning, a higher design, is embedded within us. Consider this. The root of a tree holds dormant power, capable of breaking stone. And within a human cell is an incredibly complex code that governs the construction of the body, mind, and self-awareness. Could such incredible precision and purposefulness truly have arisen from mere coincidence? However, Anatoly Akimov proposed an even bolder hypothesis. He believed that the information governing our lives is stored not in the physical body, but in an invisible field that permeates all existence. This is where the most astonishing part begins, the universe's hidden repository, an information field. Akimov asserted that there exists an information repository, having no physical form, but rather energetic or non-physical, containing all information about everything, past, present, and even future. In his view, it is to this field that individuals with unusual abilities connect, clairvoyants, mediums, those often considered fantasists or madmen. But Akimov was not engaged in mysticism for mysticism's sake. He conducted meticulous experiments, and the results of these studies led him to an astonishing conclusion. So-called intuition and insights are nothing more than signals, access to information that cannot be obtained through ordinary means. The researcher classified individuals with unusual abilities into 3 categories. The first included those who perceived events exclusively affecting their personal lives or the lives of their immediate circle. The second group comprised individuals who received information from mysterious entities from other worlds or dimensions. And finally, the third, most intriguing category included those who entered into contact with the supreme intelligence governing the universe. It was this last group that caused him the greatest concern. If such contacts truly occurred, it implied not only the existence of a universal intelligence, but also a direct path to it. And if someone could establish control over this channel of communication, they would gain unlimited power over reality. But what compelled Akimov to believe in the existence of this intelligence? His arguments were far more compelling than mere words, and they concerned the speed of thought in the universe. If this idea has prompted you to reflect, then perhaps not everything we consider a figment of imagination is mere fiction. Imagine a beam of light traveling from one galaxy to another. Even moving at the incredible speed of light, it would take billions of years to reach its destination. Billions of years. This is longer than the lifespan of not only an individual human, but an entire civilization, which would vanish long before this signal reached its destination. Akimov posed a simple but terrifying question. If everything in the universe is interconnected, if galaxies and even elementary particles at opposite ends of the cosmos act as if receiving commands simultaneously, how is this possible? The answer he arrived at is astonishing. Communication in the universe does not obey the laws of time. Signals are not transmitted. They simply exist. They emerge instantaneously. The entire structure of existence is organized so that commands are transmitted regardless of distance. This doesn't just contradict known laws of physics. It completely rewrites them. If information can traverse space instantaneously, this inevitably points to the existence of an entity beyond time. This is not merely about an outstanding intellect, but about an all-pervading intelligence, about which seers, mystics, and religious figures have spoken for centuries. Anatoly Akimov, as a scientist, did not reject scientific knowledge, yet he insisted that consciousness lies hidden beyond the strict confines of equations and formulas. Not human, not divine in the traditional sense, but a thinking substance that permeates all existence. This substance needs no guise, as it is the very form, the foundation of everything. And here arises the key question: who is the architect of this grand design? The intelligence behind all existence, which Akimov called God, was not an object of blind faith for him. He did not resort to scheduled prayers or seek miracles. Anatoly Akimov was a physicist, a mathematician, a man operating with formulas and logic. Nevertheless, having journeyed from rigorous, uncompromising science to the very frontiers of knowledge, he arrived at a profound and unshakable conviction. God exists, but his nature differs from conventional perceptions, according to Akimov. What people call God is thinking matter, without form or voice, but possessing absolute knowledge and omnipresence. This intelligence does not reside in the heavens. It is present within atoms, between cells, in the laws governing planetary motion, and in the silence of human thoughts. Akimov asserted the existence of a subtle world inhabited by souls, but emphasized that this is not a separate dimension, but an invisible yet palpable reality that permeates our homes, streets, and the entire surrounding world. This world intertwines with ours, and we are an integral part of it. As Akimov said, we are not merely observers of the universe, We are active participants in its dialogue. The narrative of Akimov, stepping into a temple for the first time, begins with the priest's question about his belief in God. Akimov's answer was categorical. Not faith, but knowledge of the inevitable existence of the Almighty. To reinforce this conviction, it is worth turning to the experience of another individual, equally distant from religious dogmas, yet who arrived at similar conclusions. This is Cressy Morrison, whose arguments deserve the closest attention. Cressy Morrison, as president of the New York Academy of Sciences, a respected chemist, and a man relying on laws and empirical data, presented an article to the scientific world that resonated widely. 7 reasons why a scientist believes in God. Morrison's first argument was the mathematical laws and universal order reigning in the universe. Planets moving along precise orbits, Earth rotating at a constant speed, all this testifies to incredible precision. A slowdown in Earth's rotation would increase the length of the day to several weeks, making plant life impossible due to alternating scorching heat and bitter cold. Morrison argued that such harmony and precision point to an intelligent design, not a random coincidence. 2. An inexplicable life energy permeates all existence in nature. How else can one comprehend the power with which tree roots can even shatter stone, or the mystery by which fruits acquire exquisite taste and flower petals a wondrous fragrance? Clearly, not merely chemical reactions are at play here, but some higher, guiding force. It can be called nature's intelligence, an invisible energy that underlies organization and creation. 3. The enigmatic instincts of the animal kingdom serve as further confirmation of this idea. Consider, for example, the salmon that stubbornly overcomes turbulent currents, striving for its spawning grounds, or the eel undertaking a transoceanic journey to its native shores. What guides them on their way? How do they remember a route they have never seen or could have learned? Naturally, this refers not only to simple reflexes, but to complex behavioral programs deeply embedded within their being. 4. The unique human mind represents another facet of the incomprehensible. We possess the ability to create musical masterpieces, experience the deepest feelings of love and sorrow, and strive to comprehend the meaning of existence. Humans are the only creatures on the planet who ask why. Our mind is not a simple continuation of instincts, but a qualitatively different phenomenon, extending far beyond the material world. 5. DNA, like a genius design, contains the most detailed blueprint for organism self-replication. Myriads of operations, countless signals, everything functions with flawless precision, like an incredibly complex clockwork mechanism. But who authored this design? Who needed to create instructions capable of being passed down from generation to generation, ensuring evolution and adaptation while preserving the fundamental structure of life? 6. The balance of forces and proportions in the world around us demonstrate nature's astonishing wisdom. Morrison provided a vivid example from Australia, where overgrown cacti, having no natural enemies, became a real scourge, occupying vast territories. The solution was the introduction of a moth that feeds on these plants. The problem was solved, and nature regained its lost balance. This case vividly illustrates how ecosystems are capable of self-regulation, maintaining harmony until human interference disrupts the fragile balance. This is evidence of an intelligently designed world, where everything is interconnected and subject to specific laws. 7. Imagination is a unique ability bestowed only upon humans. It is the ability to dream, to visualize the unseen, to believe in the impossible. Humans can create entire worlds in their minds, give birth to new ideas and concepts. Morrison called imagination a spark of divine intelligence, a reflection of a higher principle within ourselves. Imagination, he said, is a bridge connecting us to the spiritual world. The more strongly we feel the presence of this intelligence within us, the more we strive to live in accordance with our conscience, with an inner moral law, and the stronger our faith becomes. But what does all this mean for each of us? If the world around us is full of meaning and harmony, then perhaps our lives hold far greater significance than we are accustomed to believing. If, upon reading these lines, you felt that the arguments presented resonated deeply within you, perhaps you are on the verge of an important discovery that will change your perception of yourself and the world. If we assume that the world around us is not a chaotic jumble of coincidences, but a meticulously planned and executed design, then each person ceases to be a mere coincidence. Inner experiences, be they fears, doubts, or joys, appear not as signs of weakness, but as important signals indicating the presence of a deep, hidden potential within. Perhaps everyone has experienced moments of insight, for example, at the loss of a loved one, when one suddenly realizes that death is not an end point, but a transition to another state. Or, watching a colorful sunset, one feels an inner calm and certainty that they are not alone, that they are part of something larger and more significant. These feelings are not figments of imagination, but an intuitive understanding that comes with life experience. Science and faith are often pitted against each other, with the belief that reason and soul cannot coexist in harmony. However, eminent scientists like Akimov, Morrison, and many others have shown through their research that the most inquisitive minds, striving to understand truth, arrive at a single conclusion: the world is too perfectly and harmoniously designed to be meaningless. And if we acknowledge the existence of the universe's architect, then each person's life gains a profound, predetermined meaning. Anatoly Akimov once remarked that there are things that cannot be seen under a microscope or expressed in formulas. Their comprehension requires not sight, but inner stillness. The world we live in is not merely complex, it is consciously designed. All elements are interconnected, all feel and respond to one another. And if there is some force governing the universe, its presence demands not proof, but attention. Everyone has, at least once, experienced a strange feeling, as if being watched, as if coincidences are not accidental, as if thoughts materialize with astonishing precision. This is a touch of the invisible world. Perhaps someone is trying to contact us, but we are not listening. The main question that remains open is, if everything around us is part of an intelligent design, what is our place in this design? What is our purpose? This is an invitation to seek answers, to contemplation, and to conscious understanding. One simply needs to close their eyes and listen to the silence, which may hold more answers than any book.